Okay, today we will do a quick tutorial about doing some pine trees. The process is quite simplified and the result in the end I think is good enough, let's say. It's not professional but good enough. We have a lot of work to do, so let's get started. So we start with the wooden stick. It's 4 millimeter wide about. You can use bigger ones, smaller ones, it depends of the tree. So those are from ražniči, a Slovenian dish. First you have to eat the ražniči and then we can start. First thing is to put a nail in the bottom with some glue, so it will be more easy to put it in the terrain later on the diorama. Now we will start by giving, this is quite perfect as a pole, so we will start by giving it, let's say, some shape. Basically we are destroying this perfect shape. Now I will not be doing the entire piece, but the idea is to make the trunk of the tree more natural, let's say. When you finished shaping it, you can do some sanding. This is a 80 grit sanding stick, and you just give it some sanding to make it, let's say, smoother. Now, the most time-consuming part is making the primary branches. And I am using florist wire. This is a 0.6 millimeter florist wire, and we will do the primary branches with this. If you can find a finer wire, it will be even better, but it must be flexible. If you put it in one shape, it must remain in the shape. If you look at the plan, we are making, let's say, iconic Christmas tree now, but the shape entirely depends of your needs. You can make it as shape as you want. So this is the pole, and you will see I already cut it, the wire. I cut it all to length of the bigger pieces of the bottom. Now what we have to do, I have a cheap drilling tool. This is a 0.8 millimeter drill bit, and we will start to make holes through. Okay, you make it every, let's say, centimeter, but you turn the trunk slightly. Okay, you turn it again. And you drill all the way through. Of course, I will not be doing the entire trunk, but this is the idea. You have to go all the way to the top. Every, let's say, centimeter, and for every hole, you turn around the trunk slightly to make irregular shapes, let's say. Now, you take the wire, you put it in the hole, something like this. You take CA glue, okay, and you put it somewhere, a drop of glue somewhere in the middle of the wire, and you push the wire into place, okay, and then you go on with the second wire. The holes are slightly bigger, so there is no problem and it's not rocket science, it's quite simple. Okay, and also with this one you go all the way to the top. Now those bonds are not totally secured, so I also take some extra tin CA, this is like water, and you go and reinforce the bonds. Because those wires should not move. This is some accelerator for the CA. It's the spray that instantly cures the CA. And now you have made those wires all the way to the top. Let's say okay. Now we have to put them, they are all turned around. We have to put them all in the same direction to make a kind of fishbone. Okay? And if you go all up to the top, now you can take your, I don't know if you have a drawing of the tree, and you can basically go and shape the tree. You go up and up and up, and you make narrow branches, or you do a round, whatever shape you want. You just shape the tree to make at the end something like this must be something like this, okay? And now the most, let's say, dirty part of this, we have to put some texture on the trunk and on the primary branches. You take some PVA glue and you dilute it with some water. For this step, let's say 2 parts PVA glue and about 1 part of water. So you thin the glue slightly, not too much. Sorry. Hvala. And now what we have to do is basically cover the entire trunk and most importantly the branches with this glue. This is the most time-consuming part of the entire process, because you must avoid droplets, because then the sand will accumulate on them. Okay, you cover the trunk and the branches in glue for good. And then you take some fine sand. Some fine sand, normal sand, and you sprinkle on the glue. Now I am rushing things because we don't have much time. You can repeat the application of glue, I don't know, on the branches. You put some more sand on. So the trunk must be covered completely. The branches are not so important, but it's good to have some sand on those too, okay? Now you must put this entire tree to drying, leave it overnight, or I don't know, put it 10 minutes in a ventilated kitchen oven, but the wife must not be at home because they are not happy about it. When it's dry, you just have to cover the entire thing with a dark brown color, and when the color is dry, you can do some light dry brushing with the light gray just to bring the texture of the tree out, okay? And you end up with something like this. So wires, wood, covered with sand. This is it. Now the first step is to put the branches in place. So you established the shape that was made with the drilling at the end. I only put it that way because they are easier to cover with glue and coloring and everything. You have to take some time and find, I don't know, a kind of natural pose for those branches. Okay, you can also shape them a little because they keep the shape because of the wire. And as you see, some sand is falling off, but nothing important. Okay, now you can see that we have the primary branches in place, and we already can see a kind of shape that the tree will be taking. Now we will put on the secondary branches, and for those we will need, until now we were using non-modeling products at all. Nothing here, the color was generic brown color, and now we must switch to, this is 12mm long static grass, and you need this long static grass for this first step. You should put it form a ball, and you just put it apart. You prepare it, the best way is like this on a plate because it's easier to clean. And again, we take our tree, you take the glue from before, again it's 2 parts PVA, 1 part water. And you put the glue on the branches. Don't cover the entire branch, leave some space to the trunk, let's say 3/4 of the branch. And you should go around the branch. You can do about, I don't know, 4 or 5 branches at a time. Do you see good what I'm doing? I'm not seeing the... Okay, move the glue away, and then you take some, you take some 12 millimeter grass and you start to sprinkle it very lightly. The glue is only on the branches, and also the grass is accumulating only on the branches. And now again, you take the glue, you put on 4 branches, and you do it again all the way to the top. Okay? When you're done, you have to fix this step. And here I have a mixture. This is wood acrylic varnish, matte, with water. 1 part water, 1 part varnish. And I put it in this cosmetic bottle so you can spray it. Okay? You put in a card box, you spray the entire thing, and you put it in the oven, 50 degrees, 10 minutes, ventilated oven, no wife at home, and it will be dry as a bone. Okay? When you take it out, you should end up with something like this. Okay? Those are only the 12 millimeter static grass on. Don't exaggerate this step. This is probably more than enough or even too much. Okay? Don't let carry it. You don't see anything on the tree and then I must put more on. No, because we have 4 more steps to do. Okay? Let me just put the... Okay, second round of grass. This is a 5 to 6 millimeter mixture. Those you don't have to take exactly those measurements, but you have to go from long to short. And about 3 steps or something like this are more than enough. Again, you put the grass on the plate. And the color, it's not so important. Usually they are green and they should be green. I mean, don't use red ones or something. Okay, now we will use the same glue as before. So a mix of PVA and some water. Okay. And now you switch to this. This is a very cheap, they call it fan brush, I think. You find it in the supermarkets and... Okay, and now the thing is, with this it's white and you can be touching 2 branches at a time. This is hard. Don't touch the trunk with the glue because the static grass will go on the trunk where it shouldn't be. So you dip it and you lightly, you try to touch only the tips of the Okay. Now you go over the plate again and you sprinkle, and you can see that the shorter grass is getting attached to the longer one. You don't have to worry to put the grass on the trunk because there is no glue on it. From time to time you do like this, so the excess will fall down. And again you go all the way to the top. Even this step, don't exaggerate it. This is more than enough. And I must just take this away. Again, before putting it in the oven, you spray the entire tree with, this is wood varnish, acrylic wood varnish and water, 1:1, and you put it to dry. You can leave it overnight. The point here is doing only one tree is not good. You should do about, I don't know, 4 or 5. You will give it to the colleagues, you will use them. It's the same amount of preparation and of work if you are doing 1 tree or 5 of them, or even 10. So do more. Okay. So this is what comes from the oven. We have the 12mm static grass and the 5 to 6mm static grass. Now we will switch. This is even smaller. This is a mix of 2 to 3mm and 3 to 4mm static grass. I made a mix. You can see that it's like poisonously green. And now with this step we will change the glue application and we will change the grass application. I made a cardboard because spraying this can be very this is the same step that you do even when you are done with the step of the static grass. No? Now of course it will not be working. Just the light mist of this stuff. Okay? This is a very special modeling sieve. IKEA makes them, so you can buy them there. You put the grass in. You take the tree. No static grass applicator needed, nothing. Just, and even here, you should go very, very lightly. Okay? You saw I made just one pass and you should stop. Again, spray it entirely with and put it in the oven. Koliki je ura, Bine?
You have a lot of audience, so the clock is not a problem.
Aha, okay.
2 o'clock.
Sem na pol ure, no?
Ja,
Ja, ok, pa lahko vizi. Ok. A?
Kanoš mešanico, kaj špriceš?
Akrilni lak za les, običan, in voda, mat, 1:1. Okay. So we have time, as Bina is saying. So when you are finished with the step, again, you make a very generous spray of this, and you put it to dry. And that way you have even fixed the static grass, and as you can see that the wood varnish is not even visible. When it will dry, you won't be able to tell if something is on or not. Okay. From the oven we get this. And now we can start talking about, I don't know, maybe we can do this step one more time. We like the look of the tree. We can stop here. I will show you 2 more steps if you want. All this depends of your needs, of your taste. You can make whatever you want. Here the only problem, you can still see those thick branches inside. It's like, I don't know, something is missing, at least for me. So we take even shorter grass, 1 to 2 millimeter. Those colors of the static grass are cool, but they were not chosen by me. I had this at home, and as it works out, it worked cool. Okay, you prepare the grass. I will spray the tree again. As you can see, these hairy steps are quite quickly, goes quite quickly, no? You can do 10 trees in no time. But the problem is making the branches, and you can see that this static grass is, I don't even know if you can find a shorter one. This is, in my opinion, one of the shorter ones. And again, also this step, very, very, very finely. You take the grass from the plate, you put it again in the sieve. Someone may think that now we are spraying the glue, it may go to the trunk. It goes to the trunk very, very small amount of glue, because there are already branches that catches all the glue before. So you can see I sprayed, but there is no visible static grass on the trunk, so it works. When I was first doing those trees, I was, until the last step, I was always putting the glue mixture of this with this brush to every branch, and it's quite time consuming at the end. Okay. With this kind of work, don't worry, because static grass will be all over the workshop, but you can do it in another way. Okay. I'm always saying, don't exaggerate the step, and you can see here what happens if you exaggerate with. I think here I exaggerated for purpose. No, the tree is too loaded. It's like, I don't know. It don't like quite natural at all. No, and for the final step. For the final step, we will use some turf. This is also a modeling product. It's shredded colored sponge, but very it's kind of rubbery foam. You will see it on the plate. Don't ask me why, but it makes a final look of the tree. It's a quite important step. And here we will not be using the sieve. At the end you can touch it, you will see what it's all about. Ooh, too much. You can see it's kind of colored rubbery dust, something like this. Okay, again, wood varnish and water. And if you will be putting this through a sieve, it will be far too much. So here the final step is just you take it and just very from time to time you take off the excess. This last effect is like a cherry on the cake. Again, spray the whole tree with the varnish and water mix and put it to dry. I have them, but while working with the trees, you can make this kind of holder. It's a piece of 5mm balsa with a nail in the end. You put it so you have you can grab the tree for this, because if you will be touching them by the tip, you will destroy the tip and the tree will look ugly. And here we can take a look at, let's say, the final result. This is the tree with all the static grass and the turf on. And now you can, it depends. It can look good for you, but you can airbrush it. But when I say you can color it, but not go to cover it completely, just take a green color that you like. Maybe you have to put this tree on a diorama, which is, I don't know, in autumn or in summer, different places. You take the green color that you like and very lightly airbrush it. Don't go covering it, just to give some difference, and you will see it changes totally. But maybe for the railroaders or something, you may like this color and you can leave it like this. I didn't bring the compressor and the airbrush and everything, but we are talking very light coats of, you know, you do 2 coats, you watch, okay, another coat, but not covering, because all the static grass was different. And now here we can see just little, but we can see all this difference, and it will be a shame to cover it completely with color. You just give it a final, let's say final look of green that you really like. So this was the process, and now if you have some questions or something, I will be more than happy to answer them. I think that even we